Hello YouTube, Reddit Math here, and welcome back to some more Darkest Dungeon. The first thing we're going to end up doing in today's episode is getting Reynauld here a little bit leveled up-ish. Now that he's level 2, we've got plenty of upgrade paths that we could be sending him through, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. First we're going to pop into the guild. We drag him over here. Right now all he can do is unlock his other abilities. I am going to go ahead and nab Holy Lance, as I generally just find it more useful than Bulwark of Faith. But then to get higher levels of anything else, we are going to need to upgrade Instructor Mastery.
A strict regimen is paramount if one is to master the brutal arithmetic of combat.
Alright. Also, there's some great flavor text in here. The battle-hardened and stalwart, the Crusader held the front lines in 100 holy wars. Either attacks foes head-on with righteous fury, or embraces a melee support role by leveraging his powerful defensive buffs and off heals. So, we're going to want Smite to be better, we're going to want Zealous Accusation to be better, Stunning Blow to be better, and Holy Lance to be better. These are going to be the 4 primary skills that he's going to be using. I don't just have the gold to throw away quite yet, so the skills that the character's not going to be utilizing for right now, we're just going to leave off of him. We're going to do basically the same thing for him here in the blacksmith. We don't have the ability to upgrade yet because we don't have weaponsmithing, but we can pop into here, and with 24 deeds...
In the end, every plan relies upon a strong arm and tempered steel.
We can go ahead and grab those. And again, the Crusader wears heavy plate mail and wields a long sword. While affording him excellent protection and damage, his armor restricts movement, and his sword cannot be swung effectively in the back ranks. So as he starts, he's got a rusty hauberk. Not a word I'm familiar with, but we can upgrade that to chainmail to get him some more HP and a better dodge chance. And we can take his battered longsword to just a longsword to get his base damage and crit chance up. And finally, we are going to put Reynauld here into the sanitarium, where we're going to get rid of something here. I'm thinking Kleptomaniac as is one of the ones that causes him to just interact with all kinds of stuff, steal things. It's just, yeah, annoying. Now that we've got the new mechanics here where negative traits are locking in, it's going to be 5,000 gold, which is nothing to shrug off, but it's what we got. Alright, with that, we're going to go ahead and get our embarkation ready for the next dungeon crawl. And I'm thinking, out of everything we've got here, I'm really going to make this decision, I think, based on the trinket that we're allowed to pick up. And the Jester's lucky dice are going to be it. So what I'm thinking here is maybe our Jester talk to the rest of the party into coming along with him so that he could get these famed lucky dice. Would be a decent enough party for that. Maybe Mandeville for healing, Haute for checking out what the man-at-arms can do, basically. And then we need another frontline tank. And I'm thinking Poussin here can give us that. So I think that's what we're going to end up with for this one. We've got just a short excursion into the Warrens. It is going to be our first trip into the Warrens. So we're definitely going to be seeing some new enemy types. It's a short mission. We should be just fine with a single stack of food and a single stack of torches. We'll go ahead and grab 2 shovels. And the Warrens, I feel like 1 medicinal herb, 2 medicinal herbs. Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't want to break the bank by any means. As it says here, each region has its own challenges, and assemble your party and supplies accordingly. I'm not super familiar with the Warrens, so I really don't know what accordingly means in this instance, but we shall be finding out together. The amount of time I've spent in the game, I've really kind of tried not to spoil it for myself. So before starting the LP, I knew back in February I wanted to play this game, and so I've spent just a few hours familiarizing myself, but some of the later areas and bosses are going to be just as new to me as they are to you.
They breed quickly down there in the dark. But perhaps we can slay them even faster.
I believe we're going to be encountering basically pig people. We need to complete 100% of room battles, so easy enough to move back here, and then we can circle around through the rest of this stuff. Alright, right away, a torch for our troubles. We'll go ahead and pick that up, starting a second stack there. And then some brigands. We've done brigands before, not a huge deal. I'm thinking that we might just miss with that right off the bat, you know, so that we can have more fun. And then immediately have the enemy succeed in shifting us around, which is what we were trying to do to them. We're going to lose out on our Jester's various bleed abilities for right now. And we're going to soak up some blanket fire. These guys are very annoying, but it does give us a great excuse to just go ahead and do some party heals. Good dodging. Alright, go ahead and buff accuracy again. I really feel like the Jester Leper combination should make for a very deadly combination. And he's at max HP. Party heal's really not necessary. So let's go ahead and just hit the back rank while we can. And then if I could swap him, yes. So that that way we've got one of these guys close enough that we can be hitting him. We'll go ahead and swing and miss. I was going to say we'll go ahead and try to take out the brigand cutthroat that is up front, and then we can work on the fusilier in the second rank. Now, they are getting a 10% or a plus 10 accuracy boost. Guess we're just going to keep stacking that on. And then she can again judgment the back line.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Yeah, our faint hope be a blossoming.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Alright, sweet. Crush him. I'm not really sure what the cutthroat can even do from the third rank. I'm kind of annoyed that he can still do that from the second. I guess their abilities aren't really curtailed at all from that position, which is a little lame. We'll just keep party buffing every turn. Should be turning, you know, like a plus 20 accuracy leper is a force to be reckoned with. Alright, single heal for her.
Confidence
Get
surges
him
as
out
the
of the
enemy
way.
crumbles.
And then unfortunately, go ahead and just grab protection. He wouldn't have been able to hit the third rank anyway. Oh, come on. Have you never heard of a dodge, man? And the crush doesn't quite get it done. On a 17 down to 7. Ugh. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of stress healing as this fight is about to end anyway. Oh, that's a very good crit heal. With the fight about to end anyway, I figure we might as well do something that'll actually matter for the long haul, in this case, stress relief. Slice and dice. Ugh. That could have gone better. And we'll get his stress down, and that should get him to 0. Yep. The only one with any stress at all is Mandeville here. 15, 14. Go ahead and do a full party heal since nobody is at max health anyway. And then we'll end it. Alright.
A trifling victory.
Yeah.
But a victory nonetheless.
That wasn't the smoothest fight. And I think a lot of that could probably have been attributed to our Jester and Vestel getting swapped right off the bat, kind of getting us out of position there. We weren't able to take advantage of any of the Jester's offensive abilities. Although, you know, his buffs are nothing to sneeze at. Alright, Carrion Beasts. Unfortunately, these guys have pretty decent bleed resistance. The back two ranks do not. So I tell you what, let's think about this. If we move him, you know, he could just resist everything. That's fine too. Let's see if... Alright, we bled him. That's something. For 6. Okay. We'll go ahead and do a party heal. And then... Feels like a little bit of an overkill, but we'll make do. Drums of Doom. Alright, just a stress-inducing attack. Everybody at 0 stress. That's really not a big deal. Oh, come on. That miss is a little bit bigger of a deal.
Executed with impunity.
But, you know, I'd say immediately made up for by that. Let's go ahead and get the heal game going. Vomit. Alright. Our stress buildup is actually going fairly well. Of course, it's super early in the dungeon, but I'm not worried about it too much yet, especially considering we do have... Oh my god. We do have a Jester along for the ride.
Quickly the tide turns.
Well, yeah, I mean, 16 is nothing to scoff at. We do have a Jester along for the ride, though, so we can reduce stress using some of his abilities. I don't think we're going to find ourselves in too much trouble just because of that. Okay, if, I guess we'll do that.
Singular strike.
Okay, in 2 turns, that'll get rid of both of those. And vomit. Lovely. But, oh my god. Seriously, like, the corpse's dodging makes almost no sense. What is his, like... I guess base accuracy is just 80. But still, that's just... I'm not okay with it. I have heard some rumblings of complaints frequenting the Darkest Dungeons subreddit, and some of those complaints are definitely centered around the ability for corpses to dodge attacks. Or not dodge, but you just to miss them. Considering they're stationary objects lying on the ground, that doesn't tend to make the most sense. And I can kind of agree with that. I know, you know, there's no real precedence for it, but I would kind of like to see them have like a negative dodge chance that just increases player accuracy against them. Like if that was as easy to code as it is in my brain, where you just make something a negative number.
Overconfidence is a slow and
Stun
insidious
stone.
killer.
Alright, few deeds, and unlock strongbox. Contents are mine. Just a couple of portraits. Okay. We do get a scout. Nothing too shabby there. Go ahead and head this way first if I can avoid having to use my shovel on that little impassable barrier. That would be nice. But yeah, if it's you know, as easy in my brain as it is in real life, where all you would need to do is add like a negative dodge stat, and then the game interprets that as being a bonus chance to hit, I think that would be great. We don't really have a trap disarming character, so the Jester is going to be it. Got a 40% chance, which we'll have to do. Who'd like to be well read? Unremarkable. Okay. Because otherwise, there could be times where you spend like that last fight, I think 2 rounds just trying to clear corpses out. Now, of course, there are skills to do so, but I don't have a character with one of those abilities, so maybe the leper actually does, and I just don't have that unlocked for him. But, you know, there's going to be a lot of party compositions that don't include one of those abilities, and they just have to brute force their way through the corpses, and if you're going to keep missing them, that's just a little silly. Alright. Although, with that said, I was actually having a conversation tonight with a friend of mine concerning the newfound difficulty of the game, and I, so far, think it's fine. How far back? That'll just move him back 1, which doesn't really accomplish anything for me. So we'll go ahead and try to crush him. That actually takes him out of the fight. Awesome. I actually think the difficulty is in a pretty good place. There are a lot of people that are experiencing some very negative feedback from it, but I think that's coming mostly from people who didn't restart like I have here. Like, they're not on a fresh save,
Size alone does
which
not dissuade the sharpened blade.
means that they're trying to learn the ways the game has changed in the Corpse and Hound update at, you know, level 5 dungeons, and there's very little room to be making mistakes there. And they, you know, maybe they wouldn't have been mistakes under the old version, or maybe they wouldn't have been mistakes that were being punished under the old version. But, you know, here in level 1 dungeons with level 0 and level 1 characters, I'm not seeing the game being incredibly difficult, and for the most part, the corpses are just adding sort of a new tactical element to it all. That was actually the wrong guy to have attacked there, largely because my leper will not be able to hit the 3rd rank. So go ahead and finish him with the Vestel, just to prevent him from getting one more round of attacks. Basically, one attack would have countered any kind of healing she could have done. Oh, wow. Another early quest complete, which is pretty awesome. We're going to continue adventuring, because we still got plenty to do here. And sacrificial stone. I don't know what this would need, and I don't really have very many curio interaction-y things anyway. Yeah, that didn't feel like it would do anything. Oh, cool. It just removed a negative quirk. Well, that's pretty much the best possible outcome. You know, that's potentially like 5,000 gold that thing just gave me. So yeah, like, I really do feel like, you know, the game feels fine right now. And a lot of the talk is surrounding the idea that the game is still as difficult with, you know, level 6 characters in the level 5 dungeons, which is interesting to me as a complaint, just on its surface, because there we go. Medicinal herbs do purify that. Oh man, plus 30% damage. That is sweet. It's interesting on its face because so many tactical games get such a, like, negative vibe from the hardcore audience because the late game is usually very easy. XCOM, you know, the recent XCOM was a victim of that. Where a lot of people complained that the opening of the game could be very difficult and did not in any way guarantee success. But then once you made it kind of over the hump, then you could sort of coast on to victory, and it was rare to lose any of your units. And like tons of mods and additional expansions with options were all created around making it harder in the late game, and now we're seeing like the exact opposite and backlash over the idea that spotted fever. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So we're seeing backlash now over the idea that the late game is still hard, and people would prefer that they were coasting to victory in the end. I also think it is a little bit silly for any talk of balance and whether or not something is good or bad to be happening right now, considering you can't actually beat the game. Like, there's no end game right now. Which means maybe the game's not that hard. Like, maybe you would have already beaten it by the time you would be seeing any of that. Creeping cough. Okay, so remember that stress that was going to be no big deal? It's kind of starting to become a big deal. I'm not too concerned. I mean, we've won already. Like, we've already beaten the dungeon. Let's see if I can stun him for a turn. That would be great. Awesome. Okay, he's going to be stunned. He's taking 4, so he'll live. He's going to do... Okay. I don't really even think we need to do any healing. I'm just going to end him. Oh, we'll get the self-heal at least. Nice dodge. Okay. He'll get taken out before he can act. I'm not sure. Oh, right. It doesn't generate a corpse because he bled out. That's fair enough. So yeah, like, you know, maybe you would have already beaten the game by the time you're roaming around in those dungeons just for the heck of it. And so maybe all you really need to complete it is going to be one group of 4 still alive, right? I don't know. That's conjecture on my part, but I do think it's a little early to be saying one way or the other that the game is too easy or too hard in the end game, considering nobody's beaten it yet. You know, like, nobody's seen a final boss or what the final areas are going to look like, so I'm not too concerned. For now, at least, in my rose-tinted glasses, from the perspective of a party of 3 level 1 and 1 level 0 character. Any of this deal extra damage to Unholy? That does, but I'm not in the right position. Okay. So from that perspective, you know, I think this feels fine in a level 1 dungeon with level 1 and 0 characters. We've lost 1 guy so far, and admittedly, I'd say that had most, or more to do with me going in with a kind of silly party composition of double jesters. So I had, like, nobody that could heal. And then, in addition to that, I had opportunities to retreat. I chose to stick it out in order to try to complete the mission, and that ended up costing me the life of one of my party members. You know, I take full responsibility for that. That didn't feel like the game being unfair at all. Lasting effect. Nymphomania. Oh, hey, nymphomania is a good thing. Okay. Fair enough. Pretty sure there is, like, a bad version of that, but that was not it. Alright. And then we're going to get a little min-maxy. We'll just step out here. Oh, I think I know what those do. So he's night blind. She's winded. Lowered speed. Dacomania and God-fearing. I'd say trying to get rid of... Yeah. Trying to get rid of Dacomania, I think, makes the most sense. So we want the pile of scrolls, and we want to burn them. Yeah. A boon at last. I did not get rid of Dacomania. But, hey, at least I can now do more than just pray when I'm back in town. And the reason for that... I mean, we do have a shovel we could go forward, but I can now just quest complete from right here. I don't have to press forward.
Their confidence is shaken.
Alright, and some fading squeals greet us as we complete our quest. Weird. Okay. So Mandeville's getting close, and Polet made it to level 1. And some traits. Oh my god. Creeping Cough, Irrepressible, and Gambler. Unerring, which is basically worthless on a character without range skills. Unholy Hater, which is kind of interesting that I converted his God-fearing into Holy Hatred. And then Obsessed with Cleanliness. Alright, we'll go ahead and bounce back to the town. I also believe our Vestal picked up a couple of diseases during the fights.
There is a great horror beneath the manor. A crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
Yep, crawling chaos beneath the manor. Check. All right. We do have enough space for one additional party member, and we have found some arbalists. Got early riser with slow reflexes and stress resist versus beasts, or on guard, lurker, lazy eye, and a love interest. I think we're going to pick up this due to on guard and lurker are both pretty good. We could get rid of lazy eye, and love interest is not a huge deal. Haute, I think. Haute, maybe. Who knows? I'm not going to be able to pronounce half of these names already.
Shoot, bandage, and pillage. The dancing steps of war.
Alright, so our arbalist class has some pretty decent damage resistance, and then is just a rear line ranged character with a crossbow, with things like sniper shot, bola, blind fire, rallying flare, and then the bandage being mentioned is battlefield bandage, which is a small heal that has actually been buffed. It's now 2 to 3 at level 1, not too bad. And then it does give the target a buff where they receive increased healing after that. And then sniper's mark, which can be used to mark targets, and suppressing fire, which is a debuff for the enemy, an accuracy and crit. All right. Very nice, very nice. I have trouble fitting Arbalest into my party, truth be told, due to wanting that back spot for healers more than anything else. Also, we're going to go ahead and increase our party roster.
Seeking fortune and glory in this domain of the damned.
Oh, yay, we're in the domain of the damned already. So I can get it up to 13. That way we can grab some people on after our next excursion as well. We've still got only one character at level 2, and Mandeville is needing some serious de-stressing. Although she can go anywhere. Nope, not the sanitarium, the abbey. So we'll send her into the abbey to go to the penance hall. And then nobody else really needs to de-stress. He gained Gambler, which I'm not super worried about. Night Blind, which I'm not super worried about. Dr. Mania, which I'm not super worried about. Okay. And let's go ahead and get him his lucky dice. So it's going to decrease his damage, but up his accuracy and dodge. And you know what? He is largely going to be inflicting bleed, so his damage isn't really a trait that concerns me. And with minus 5%, it changes 4 to 7 to be 4 to 7. So not a big deal. All right. With that, with our Jester Pierrepont getting his reward, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to subscribe for more videos daily. Leave a like or a comment if you have anything to say about this or any of my other episodes, and I will catch you guys next time.